Welcome to Nextless, and from the very first episode of Game of Thrones, the game begins in earnest. This is a full breakdown of Season 1, a story told through the people we meet and the paths they begin to walk. No detail is too small, because in Westeros, the smallest things often matter the most. Our story begins in the far north. Beyond the wall, a massive, frozen monolith that looms hundreds of feet high, stretching across the northern border of the Seven Kingdoms. It is the edge of the known world, where wildlings roam and legends whisper. Three men of the Night's Watch, Ser Waymar Royce, Will, and Garrett, ride their black steeds through an eerily quiet forest of ancient pine. Snowflakes drift like ash from the sky. The forest is a cathedral of silence. Will leads the group to a clearing. There, mutilated corpses are arranged in a grotesque spiral. Arms, legs, and torsos positioned with care. No random massacre, but a symbol, a message. Ser Waymar, young and arrogantly noble in his fine cloak, scoffs. He dismisses Will's fear.
You want to run away south? Run away. Of course, they will behead you as a deserter, if I don't catch you first.
Ordering him back to the site, but the corpses are gone. No blood, no drag marks, just snow. Then it comes. A figure emerges from the mist. A White Walker, silent, unrelenting. Royce draws steel, but the blade shatters like glass upon contact. The White Walker moves like wind and shadow. Will watches in horror as Royce falls. But what's worse are the reanimated corpses. The dead wildlings now walk, their eyes glowing blue, their movements wrong. Will flees. Far south of the wall lies the north, harsh, noble, and steeped in tradition. And at its heart stands Winterfell, the seat of House Stark. Lord Eddard Stark, Ned, administers justice.
The guardsmen just rode in from the hills. They captured a deserter from the Night's Watch.
Will has been captured. Fleeing the wall is a capital crime. With his sons, Robb, Jon, Bran, and his ward Theon Greyjoy, Ned rides into the woods. The morning mist coils around their horses like spirits. Bran, just 10, is to witness his first execution. Will pleads not for his life.
I know I broke my oath. And I know I'm a deserter. I saw the White Walkers.
But the law is the law. Ned, solemn and unwavering, draws ice, his massive Valyrian steel blade. The execution is swift. No cruelty, just duty. Afterward, Ned speaks to Bran. A father teaches a son what it means to rule with honor.
You understand why I did it,
Jon said he was a deserter.
but do you understand why I had to kill him? The man who passes the sentence should swing the sword.
On their way home, the group finds something unheard of, a direwolf, dead. Its massive body is pierced by a stag's antler. The symbolism chills Ned. The direwolf is the sigil of House Stark. The stag, that of House Baratheon. 6 pups wriggle beside the corpse. Theon urges Ned to kill them. They'll never survive. But Jon, quiet and perceptive, speaks. There are 5 Stark children. Reluctantly, Ned agrees. Each child receives a pup. As they ride away, Jon hears a faint whimper.
Run to the litter. That one's yours, Snow.
A white pup, with red eyes, lies apart, an albino. The runt, Jon holds it gently. This one's mine, he says. A bastard and an outcast. A wolf born apart. They belong to each other. Back in Winterfell, the castle bustles. Inside the great hall and its shadowed corridors, we meet the Stark household. Lady Catelyn Stark, noble and proud, protective of her family. Cold to Jon Snow. Sansa, graceful, dutiful, dreaming of courtly life. Arya, wild-haired, eyes full of fire, more blade than silk. Robb, strong and capable, already a leader. Bran, eager and innocent. Rickon, barely more than a toddler. And Jon Snow, Ned's bastard, quiet, observant, always on the outside. He trains, eats, and sleeps with the family, but is never truly of the family. A raven arrives. Its message: King Robert Baratheon rides north with his entire court. Winterfell springs into motion. Tapestries are hung, feasts prepared, nobles dressed. Sansa frets about first impressions. Arya hides from lessons. The horns sound. The king's party arrives in a thunder of hooves and banners. Robert Baratheon is large, both in belly and presence. His voice booms with familiarity as he pulls Ned into a bear hug.
You got fat.
But his eyes are shadowed. Behind him, Queen Cersei Lannister, regal and unreadable. Jaime Lannister, the Kingslayer, flawless, golden, and deadly. Their younger brother, Tyrion, arrives separately. A dwarf, clever, sardonic, and always watching. Robert visits the crypts beneath Winterfell. There lies Lyanna Stark, Ned's sister, the woman Robert loved, the reason he fought a war. The stone statue watches them with blank eyes. Robert speaks of past dreams. Ned remains silent. The wounds are old but unhealed. Then Robert makes his request. Jon Arryn, the former hand of the king, is dead. He asks Ned to replace him, to help me rule. Robert says, to protect me from enemies I can't see.
Lord Eddard Stark, I would name you the Hand of the King.
Catelyn is uneasy. South is where men disappear, but Ned cannot deny his king. That night, a raven arrives with another letter, from Catelyn's sister, Lisa. She claims Jon Arryn was murdered, and the Lannisters are behind it.
She says Jon Arryn was murdered by the Lannisters. She says the king is in danger.
Ned and Catelyn argue, but if the Lannisters did kill Jon, then the king is in danger. Catelyn's face tightens with fear. Far to the east, in the exotic free city of Pentos, we meet the last of the Targaryens, Viserys, bitter and obsessed with reclaiming the Iron Throne. Daenerys, his sister, quiet, delicate, a pawn in his ambition. Viserys offers her in marriage to Khal Drogo, a Dothraki warlord, towering, scarred, feared across the sea of grass. In exchange, Viserys demands an army.
I know how to play a man like Drogo. I give him a queen, and he gives me an army.
Daenerys is dressed by handmaidens, her skin oiled, her hair braided. She does not smile. The wedding is wild, fire dancers, horse lords, blood spilled in celebration. Daenerys receives gifts, books, silks, and 3 stone dragon eggs, fossilized, ancient, cold.
Are you from my country?
Sir Jorah Mormont of Bear Island. I served your father for many years.
That night, Drogo takes her, wordless, a transaction, but beneath her silence, something stirs, a flame that will not die. Bran Stark, ever climbing, scales a broken tower. His mother's warnings mean little to a boy who sees the world better from above. He hears voices, curious. He peers through a narrow window. Jaime and Cersei Lannister, together, intimate, twins. Bran gasps. They see him. Jaime, calm, turns. No panic, no fear, just a quiet decision. The things I do for love, he says, and pushes.
Things I do for love.
Bran Stark lies unconscious after his fall from the tower. Catelyn Stark, his mother, hasn't left his side for days. Her grief consumes her, and she becomes increasingly suspicious that Bran's fall may not have been accidental.
Forgive me. It's the last thing you need to hear right now.
Meanwhile, preparations are underway at Winterfell for Eddard Ned Stark to travel south with King Robert Baratheon to assume his new role as Hand of the King. The royal party is preparing to leave, and along with them, Sansa Stark is excited to head to King's Landing with her betrothed, Prince Joffrey Baratheon. Arya Stark, more resistant to the idea of life at court, packs reluctantly. Jon Snow, Ned's illegitimate son, readies for a different journey, to the Wall in the north, to join the Night's Watch, a sworn brotherhood tasked with guarding the realm.
Next time I see you, you'll be all in black. It was always my color.
Before leaving, Jon gives Arya a sword, which she later names Needle. This gesture underscores their close bond.
The best swords have names, you know.
I've got a needle of my own.
Jon attempts to say goodbye to Bran, but Catelyn coldly tells him to leave. It's a moment that underscores the emotional divisions within the Stark household. The royal procession departs Winterfell. It's a grand affair, knights, squires, banners, and dozens of wagons winding south. Along the road, Ned and Robert share candid conversations. Robert reminisces about the past and mourns lost love, revealing hints of emotional vulnerability beneath his loud, brash exterior.
To your sister, the woman I loved. I'll kill every Targaryen I get my hands on.
Meanwhile, Tyrion Lannister, Robert's brother-in-law, decides to accompany Jon Snow to the Wall. The two begin an unlikely travel companionship. Tyrion, witty and brutally honest, challenges Jon's assumptions about the Night's Watch, painting it not as a noble calling but a place filled with criminals and outcasts. Their conversations explore identity, self-perception, and privilege.
And you? What's your story, bastard?
Ask me nicely and maybe I'll tell you, dwarf.
Back in Winterfell, Catelyn's instincts sharpen. She finds a long blonde hair at the side of Bran's fall. deepening her suspicion that the Lannisters, particularly Cersei and Jaime, may be involved. That night, an assassin sneaks into Bran's chamber and tries to kill him. Catelyn fights back but is overpowered until Bran's direwolf intervenes, mauling the attacker to death. This brutal incident confirms that someone wants Bran's silence.
You're not supposed to be here.
No!
Catelyn resolves to travel south, in secret, to warn Ned and uncover the truth.
I don't want the Lannisters to know I'm coming.
Let me accompany you at least.
What about Bran?
I have prayed to the Seven for more than a month. Bran's life is in their hands now.
As the royal caravan journeys south, tension brews. Arya befriends Micah, a butcher's boy, and plays spars with him. Joffrey, walking with Sansa, spots them, taking offense at Arya's behavior and seeking to assert his superiority. Joffrey escalates the situation. He draws his sword on Micah, injures him, and mocks him cruelly. Arya retaliates by striking Joffrey. In defense of her, her direwolf Nymeria attacks and bites Joffrey's arm.
Only a butcher's boy. That was my lady's sister you were hitting. Do you know that? I'll gut you, you little cunt!
Knowing the wolf will be punished, Arya tearfully drives Nymeria away into the woods to save her life. When the group returns to camp, Arya is found and brought to her father. Cersei demands justice. Since Nymeria is gone, she insists Lady, Sansa's direwolf, must pay the price. Sansa pleads, saying Lady didn't hurt anyone, but Cersei remains firm. Robert defers the decision to Ned.
You let that little girl disarm you.
What of the beast that savaged your son?
Forgot the damned wolf.
We found no trace of the direwolf, Your Grace.
We have another wolf. No, not Lady. Lady didn't bite anyone. She's good!
Lady wasn't there!
Is this your command?
With heavy heart, Ned carries out the execution himself, putting Lady down to prevent someone else from doing it cruelly. At the same time, the Hound rides in, revealing that Micah has been hunted down and killed on Joffrey's orders. The tragedy of the butcher's boy, killed simply for playing, reflects the cruelty and imbalance of power already brewing. Back in Winterfell, Robb watches over Bran. As the direwolf sleeps beneath his bed, Bran's eyes suddenly open. He is awake. The camera lingers on his face before the screen fades to black. Ned Stark arrives in the capital with his daughters, Sansa and Arya. As they ride through the crowded streets of King's Landing, the city's size and chaos contrast starkly with the snow-covered calm of Winterfell. They're escorted to the Red Keep, where Ned prepares to assume his duties as the new hand of the king. Ned attends his first meeting of the king's small council. There, he meets the key political figures of the court: Lord Peter Baelish, Littlefinger, the Master of Coin; Grand Maester Pycelle, the aged royal advisor; Lord Renly Baratheon, King Robert's youngest brother; and Lord Varys, the enigmatic spymaster.
Renly, you looking well?
And you look tired from the road.
I've hoped to meet you for some time, Lord Stark.
I understand you knew my brother Brandon as well.
Perhaps you chose the wrong man to duel with.
Well, it wasn't the man that I chose, my lord. It was Catelyn Tully.
Should we begin?
Without the king?
Winter may be coming, but I'm afraid the same cannot be said for my brother.
The council discusses the crown's severe debt, over 6 million gold dragons, much of it owed to the Lannisters. Ned is alarmed when he learns Robert plans an expensive tournament in his honor despite the financial strain. The episode begins to establish how politically different the capital is from the north.
Are you telling me the crown is 3 million in debt?
I'm telling you the crown is 6 million in debt.
And Ned's discomfort is immediate. Peter Baelish offers to help Ned discreetly investigate Jon Arryn's death, the previous hand of the king. He hints that Arryn was killed for discovering something dangerous.
You are the king's hand, Lord Stark. We serve at your pleasure.
He also reveals to Ned that Catelyn Stark is in King's Landing and arranges a secret meeting between them. Catelyn, having secretly traveled south, is brought to a brothel owned by Littlefinger, where she and Ned reunite. Littlefinger shows Ned the dagger used in the attempt on Bran's life. He claims it once belonged to Tyrion Lannister, though Ned is suspicious of Littlefinger's motives. He agrees that this information warrants caution and secrecy. This moment deepens Ned's resolve to uncover the truth, even if it means navigating the treacherous politics of King's Landing. In the Red Keep, Arya practices swordplay alone using a stick. She's still upset about the recent events on the King's Road and doesn't fit in with court life. Seeing her struggle, Ned arranges for a Braavosi dancing master named Siriofarl to train her in sword fighting. The training is stylized and rhythmic, unlike northern combat techniques, and Arya begins to embrace her identity outside traditional noblewoman expectations.
Who are you?
Your dancing master, Sirio Forel.
So, you are skinny. The steel must be part of your arm.
You must listen to me, boy.
I'm a girl.
Kicking and hammering. This is the Bravos dance.
Her lessons with Syria will become a key aspect of her personal development. Sansa, meanwhile, is adapting in a very different way. She's infatuated with court life and Prince Joffrey, though still hurt over the fate of her direwolf, Lady. She bitterly blames Arya and Ned for ruining her relationship with Joffrey. During a tense dinner with Ned, she says she doesn't want to return to Winterfell, suggesting the capital is now her home.
You're an idiot. You're a liar, and if you told the truth, Mike would be alive.
Enough!
She mentions that Joffrey confided that her father's life may be in danger in King's Landing, subtly planting more distrust in Ned's mind. Her character arc begins to branch from the Stark identity as she becomes absorbed by courtly illusions. Jon Snow trains at Castle Black with other recruits. He quickly establishes himself as the most capable fighter among them, but his skill creates resentment. The other recruits are largely former criminals and peasants, and used to discipline or education. Ser Alisathorn, the gruff master-at-arms, mocks them all and especially targets Jon, who struggles with the idea that his noble background sets him apart in a negative way.
Well, Lord Snow, it appears you're the least useless person here.
Tyrion Lannister, still traveling at the Wall, observes these dynamics with amusement. He offers Jon blunt wisdom, advising him to accept who he is, a bastard.
They hate me because I'm better than they are.
Your brother Bran has woken up.
Later, Tyrion learns from the Maester of the Night's Watch that the Order is dangerously understaffed and underprepared. Many recruits are ill-equipped for the harsh realities beyond the Wall. The Night's Watch is a shadow of its former self, and the threat from beyond the Wall looms larger.
And dark things will come with it. The Night's Watch is the only thing standing between the realm and what lies beyond. There are less than 1,000 of us now. We've barely enough resources to keep our lads armed and fed. We need help.
Jon speaks to his uncle Benjen Stark, first ranger of the Night's Watch, expressing a desire to ride north of the Wall. Benjen refuses, stating Jon hasn't taken his vows and isn't ready.
I'm the first ranger. My job is out there.
I'm ready. I won't let you down.
You're not going.
But I'm better than every other.
Better than no one.
Their conversation ends tensely. Soon after, Benjen leaves on a ranging mission beyond the Wall, which will have major consequences later. Back in Winterfell, Bran Stark has awoken from his coma. Robb is relieved but notices that Bran remembers nothing about his fall. Bran is unable to walk and is emotionally subdued. He asks Robb why someone would want to kill him. Maester Luwin tries to comfort Bran, but it's clear he's now facing a long, difficult recovery, physically and emotionally.
You still don't remember anything?
I'd rather be dead.
Don't ever say that.
I'd rather be dead.
Across the Narrow Sea, Daenerys Targaryen travels with the Dothraki horde. She has begun to adapt to her role as Khaleesi. Her relationship with Khal Drogo has changed. She is no longer passive. She asserts herself among his riders and learns their language and customs.
At Jaka.
At Jahaka.
At Jahaka.
Yes, Khaleesi. You change, Khaleesi.
She consults with her handmaidens and begins to assert power. She commands her own horse and issues orders. Viserys Targaryen, her brother, grows increasingly frustrated with the respect Daenerys receives from the Dothraki. He tries to assert dominance and physically threatens her, but she pushes back.
You dare! You do not command the dragon. I am Lord of the Seven Kingdoms.
If you want him dead, Khaleesi.
No! Tell him I don't want my brother harmed.
Woman! Kill these Dothraki dogs! I am your king!
You walk